Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wrestling fans. We are 38 days away from WrestleMania, and inside of that, I asked the wrestling community to give us their best WrestleMania entrances, and then we would put it in order as if how we seen they fit in the WrestleMania entrance catalog, basically. So we're gonna look at this from the absolute what we think was not the best from what the community gave us to some of the top entrances that we were given. With that being said, this is our idea. Of course, if you think anything different, please let us know in the comments. And as always, hit that subscribe button, become part of the wrestling community here at the Kraken Universe. With that being said, we're going to hop directly into this. WrestleMania 40, we have no entrances so far, but with that being said, you could probably look for Seth to have a knockout entrance. Rhea will probably have a massive entrance, and probably Orton and Logan Paul will have a pretty big entrance. We cannot wait to see those. But we're going to start this list off with the New Day. So the New Day came out at WrestleMania 32 in a box of their brand new cereal line of Bootios. And it was very clever and creative for them. But at this point in the New Day's run in the WWE, they were huge fan favorites with like kid aspect and the younger generation of wrestling fans. But for me, the Bootio entrance, it did not hit well with me. Thought it was nice that you got to see them promote that cereal. But other than that, I gave this one the lowest end of the spectrum of our rating. Following that, you had Asuka's entrance at WrestleMania 39. Her entrance was very creative. You did have the multiple faces of Asuka to start off her entrance. I think what really destroyed this entrance, in my opinion, was the long ramp WrestleMania 39 had. I think it would have been a lot better at a shorter ramped WrestleMania venue. But for it to be Asuka entrance, her heel stage that she has been on, it was top tier. But for the WrestleMania entrances we were given, it did not compare to those. That's why it is the number 19 spot on our list. Following that, you have Rusev and Rusev Day coming in with the tank at WrestleMania 31. Very creative for Rusev and the creative team there at WWE. Yet again, this is one of those that was new to us at WrestleMania. Rusev had a very big match, but I just feel yet again that throughout this list, there's more creative ways and entrances that we did have. So this one fell at number 18. Following that, we had the first WrestleMania for Shinsuke Nakamura at the WrestleMania. I do believe this was 34. It was nice. His first WrestleMania match entrance, he had a live band, violinist out there doing his entrance song. Creativity was off the chart for this one, but for us, we gave this a number 17. Triple H entrance at WrestleMania 17 was very different. I think this was the first time that we've seen a live band be involved doing a WrestleMania entrance style theme. The overall song itself for Motorhead was not top tier, so that's why we rate this one a little lower on the spectrum scale for us. The Undertaker's entrance at WrestleMania 17 as well. Yes, he did come out on the motorcycle. This is the American Badass Undertaker. But I think for the list, if I would have been given the Limp Bizkit entrance where they actually sung his song, I think it would have been a little higher on our list. But I think this is one of the only Undertaker entrances that fell short when it comes to WrestleMania. John Cena's WrestleMania 25 entrance was extremely different. You've seen about 100 different John Cena standing there on the entrance ramp. And if I remember correctly, and you can correct me in the comments if I am wrong, but I think there were several different wrestlers who were not main stars yet in this lineup. I cannot remember right off all of the wrestlers or any of them that were there, but I want to say I remember Punk saying something about it or someone that he has fought. But either way, for John Cena's entrances throughout WrestleMania, this one was kind of his midway mark. There is better entrances that he did have. Charlotte Flair landing in the helicopter at WrestleMania 35 was also a great entrance for her, but it was one of her biggest entrances. This also landed at our midway point through our list because Charlotte Flair was top tier in the women's division. She still is top tier, and her entrance was just that Flair mentality. The Undertaker's entrance at WrestleMania 9 in Caesar's Palace, where he was being basically brought out on the buggy. I'm not exactly sure what they would have called this. Was a very different entrance. He had the bird sitting beside him. Very dark entrance, mysterious, just like the Undertaker was going up against the great Gonzalez. This entrance was more of the start for the Undertaker in his reign at WrestleMania, and another great entrance for him as well. Shawn Michaels' WrestleMania 25 entrance, where he came down from the heavens in the all white attire, was probably one of Shawn's biggest entrances. There is another one. It did make our list. It is a little higher. But for Shawn Michaels, this is towards the end of his career. This is what he was trying to be, the light that took out the darkness in The Undertaker. We got this one pretty high up on our list as well. Triple H coming out as the King of Kings in his throne chair. Of course, for anyone who is a huge wrestling fan, you know that beside him is Sasha Banks, Alexa Bliss, and Charlotte Flair before they were called up to the main roster. Triple H got really creative with his entrances towards the end of his career. And this one, besides from WrestleMania 33, I think was his absolute best. I know at WrestleMania 33, we was live there in attendance, so we didn't get to really see how it was on the big screen until we got home. But I do remember him coming out on the motorcycle. I think this one was his bigger entrance in his career. John Cena returned at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. And boy, he entered in a Mustang busting straight through the glass. And for anybody who was a fan of John Cena back then, this was a big entrance for him. This is why this was farther up than the WrestleMania 25 entrance. This WrestleMania moment coming from WrestleMania 23, I think solidified him in his WrestleMania run and his WWE career. That's why it's high on the list as well. Like I said, we was live in attendance for WrestleMania 33. So Matt and Jeff Hardy, that return, us getting to see them for the first time live, and then them just being gone for so long, coming back as a surprise entrance, and the pop that they received to be added into the ladder match for the tag team titles was huge. And then just getting to see Jeff Hardy do a swanton off the top of a ladder, through other ladders, and through other competitors in that match. That's why this one is in our top 5 selection. You had The Undertaker at WrestleMania 14 when he went up against Kane. This was the first time that we actually had seen the Druids. This was right before we really got to see the dark side of The Undertaker. And going into that, this entrance gave us a huge light on the dark power that the Undertaker possesses, and also with the aspects of the Druids themselves. That's why this is the higher end of the Undertaker's entrances for us. Now, with that being said, Edge, when he was with the WWE, had a dark side as well, especially when he first started. He was tagged with Christian and Gangrel, and they created the group called The Brood. And at WrestleMania 38, we got to see the Brood Edge come back to life with a good mixture of that and the Judgment Day aspect that was moving on. And he put the two together, and it was a beautiful entrance at WrestleMania 38. Being a big fan of the Brood and how that faction worked back in the early days of WWF, WWE, that's why this is in the top 5 as well. Dominic Mysterio's entrance at WrestleMania 39, where he done his whole I went to jail segment, and then comes out with a escort from the local police department in handcuffs, wearing his dad's mask that he did take for his first solo WrestleMania, was top tier. Now, will we see something more creative going into this WrestleMania now that he has been with Judgment Day longer? He has gotten a better feel for his heel persona that he's taken on. Absolutely. But Dirty Dom WrestleMania 39 will be a huge one for years to come. Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 12, coming down from the heavens, will forever go down as one of the biggest WrestleMania moments and entrances, not just for him, but for wrestling all around. We haven't really seen one of these done in quite some time, except for last year. We've seen Logan Paul do this type of entrance, but it was more or less he came from the stage, went up in the sky, and then landed. So that was a very good callback to that, and he got to do something he wanted to do. But Shawn Michaels was the entrance setter back then, took all the risk, succeeded very well, and that's why this is in our top 3. The Fiend entrance against Randy Orton will forever be a moment in history for the WWE. We all know that Alexa Bliss cranked the Jack in the Box until Bray Wyatt popped out of it at the top. This was the big return for the Fiend after him and Randy Orton's feud, where he had basically burned the Fiend and gotten rid of that demon per se. And for him to come back and do this type of entrance at WrestleMania was absolutely top tier. It came down between this one and another one. Technically, we have 2 number 1 spots, in my opinion. With that being said, the second number 1 spot is Undertaker's entrance against CM Punk at WrestleMania 29, where he came out and had the Souls trying to reach for him on his entranceway to the ramp. Of course, we know this match was against CM Punk in the New York, New Jersey WrestleMania arena, where he had actually partnered with Paul Heyman. And I do believe he had taken the urn at some point throughout that. But just the fact that we've seen the Souls of WrestleMania trying to drag The Undertaker down gave it a darker aspect to who The Undertaker's character was, how many people he had beaten in WrestleMania, and that he was adding CM Punk to that list. So that is our number 1 spots. It was a tie, ladies and gentlemen, between The Undertaker and The Fiend's entrance. With that being said, wrestling fans, as always, let us know what you think should have been the top entrance. If you had one that we missed out on, of course, as always, let us know. Until next time, wrestling fans, we're over.